Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pit and Paddock Racing Show. We're going to start off with IndyCar. IndyCar started their season in St. Petersburg, Florida, but there was more excitement at the St. Petersburg Hospice Center at Bingo Night. After a mostly peaceful race, Caillou cruised to an easy win with Sneaky Scott Dixon in second and Newgarden for Team Cheater.com in third.
Sneaky Scott Dixon.
Let's hit the race highlights.
Race highlights. Well, we started off with first practice. Scotty Mack rebounded from a practice crash and took the pole, which was nice.
Is that McLaughlin?
Yeah. That's a long name, so I like to say Scotty Mack.
The commentators said it. Americans are lazy. We don't like to say full names.
That's a lot of syllables. I don't have time for that.
It's not. If we had Spanish, you could roll it off a lot easier, but in English, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, so if Scott McLaughlin is Scotty Mack, what is Scott Dixon?
Scotty Dix?
Scotty Dix.
I don't know.
Sounds like a British food.
They would eat that. Well, onto the race. Lap 1, Nolan Siegel, Will Power, and the rookie Foster all crashed themselves out immediately.
That didn't take long.
No, they're just kind of rough day for McLaren there.
I liked, where we at lap 45, Armstrong. Armstrong gets wobbly when his... So what? I didn't see the explanation. He comes out and his left rear is wobbling all over the place. Did they just not get it on, or did something break?
I'm not sure what happened. I think I did see the replay of that part.
Yeah.
And then I forgot to go back and check and see what happened.
Because we don't really care about Armstrong that much anyway.
No, I moved past it, but it looked pretty janky there.
Yep, it looked pretty race ending.
Pato had some rough luck with a tire puncture early on that pretty much took him out of contention.
Yeah, Pato, did I say this was going to be his year?
Yes.
No, that was for Indy 500.
Yeah, Indy.
Okay.
But so I thought he would do a little better than that in the first race.
Herta had a really promising qualifying, and then lap 47, pit stop trouble, and just couldn't come back from it.
No. Did he have a couple times pit stop trouble?
Yeah, his crew wasn't doing so good.
Way to hold it down, guys.
Yeah.
I'll give him once, but twice is.
In an interview, he was saying that he wasn't sure he wanted to go to F1 because he didn't want to leave the guys at his IndyCar team. Maybe
I need to get out of here. Can't wait to leave the guys. Oh, and guess what happens at the end of the race? Here comes Scott Dixon.
As always.
As always.
He's the ubiquitous Scott Dixon.
Yes.
You know what? I'm surprised we never gave him a nickname. So I'm thinking Sneaky Scott Dixon, or just Sneaky Snake Dixon.
A sneaky little snake.
Or just maybe Tojo, the Japanese president from World War II.
It's just a quiet Sunday afternoon. All of a sudden, Scott Dixon
just shows up. I swear he must be invisible. He's got like an invisible button, and he just you don't even notice him all race until the end.
Announcers aren't even paying attention. Suddenly there's like 10 laps to go, and you're like, well, Scott Dixon's climbing up into third place. What?
Yeah.
Late in the race, Newgarden made a charge, and he either tried to make it interesting or Fox pretended like he was making it interesting, but
he had a chance, but it wasn't. Then he burned his tires up trying to get up there.
I think Palou was just decided to turn it on and drive away.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that Palou never got his shot at F1. He seemed like he would have done a lot better than they think he would.
A lot of guys?
Yeah, a lot of guys who pay to drive there.
He should go. Is he a pay to drive, or is he? No, he's merit now, isn't he?
Yeah. I remember that's why he wanted to join McLaren, is because he could get a shot at F1, but when he signed that contract, McLaren then signed like 6 other F1 drivers that same year, and then he was like, never mind, I'm out. Back to Ganassi.
I would like to see him go drive for Sauber. It's like, is it Audi yet, or is it still Sauber?
Audi next year.
Next year? Oh, 2026.
This
is
year
Audi.
I think they didn't do anything to their car, and they're going to be kind of have a rough year.
Like last year and the year before
Yes.
that, and the year before that. Okay, pretty much ever since the new formula came out.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Do you? That's another thing that annoyed me from Fox during the race. Is it Townsend Bell? I think it was. I'm gonna need him to never say catbird seat ever again. Him and Clint Boyer in NASCAR. Like, I feel like he said it twice a lap. So and so's in the catbird seat right here. I'd never even heard that term before until I listened to races.
I would also like to stop them from saying he's making some moves, because that one happens a lot. And anyone who wins, put on a master class.
Okay, I'm getting either a bingo card written out or a drinking game written up here.
That's a drinking game. Oh, I said master class. That's 2 shots.
Especially when there's a double header from NASCAR, IndyCar into NASCAR, you can just roll it through. It'll be pretty. Oh, that might be too much, actually.
We should have more double NASCAR IndyCar weekends.
That's what's kind of nice. I just kept the TV on Fox all day.
We need, like the old medieval days where you get a marriage between a Penske family member and a Franz family member. Wait, France. Who's NASCAR people? France?
France.
Yeah. They want to get the 2 of the grandchildren to marry, and then they come together, and maybe we can have NASCAR and IndyCar weekends.
I always thought Phoenix would be a good location for a double header. Maybe like an IndyCar night race, NASCAR on Sunday.
I would like to see both of them do a downtown Phoenix street race.
That would be fun. Maybe a sort of a Le Mans style race where they're on the track at the same time.
Yes, that's even better.
Very dangerous for the IndyCar drivers.
Did the GD cars rub the prototypes quite a bit, or?
They can though. They're all closed wheel.
Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about Fox. Fox had their first shot at covering IndyCar. Not bad. They did get a 45% spike in viewership.
That was kind of
over
surprising.
Last year's St. Pete. Yeah.
The advertisements must have worked pretty well.
Oh, because they actually spent some money advertising?
That's a huge increase.
Yeah, it's a big... We'll see if it holds.
I hope so. Especially if they're going to run it with NASCAR. Maybe they can get some NASCAR fans up watching IndyCar a little earlier. They did have a few of the scoring pylon issues in qualifying. I saw they were a little late or not keeping up. It was kind of tough, too. NBC used to have, live timing of... they were in green or red, depending on 10th place when they're, or 6th place when they're running, and Fox was kind of just we'll kind of see when the lap's up where they're at, and then sometimes even then, hopefully they get that worked out a little bit.
Oh yeah, with NBC you could, during the lap when they hit the end of a sector, you could see if they were up or down.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was kind of lacking. Maybe they'll get that fixed a little bit. And then... Anything else there?
They had issues during the race with something with the telemetry, tire pressures.
Oh, tire pressures? I forgot that part.
Yeah, they had some other problem. What was really weird was hearing Buxom's voice instead of Lee Doofy. At first I thought, does Doofy have a cold? Why does he sound so weird? And then I'm like, oh wait, that's Will Buxom.
That was pretty different. He did a good job.
Yeah, I thought he did pretty good. He's never had the call on the race, though, right?
No, he's always been down in the pits. He might have done some practice type stuff, but
yeah,
I don't think he's ever done the race.
Or maybe the off-channel Formula One race. He might have been one of the commentators,
something like that.
But yeah, he's never been the main dude. Maybe that's why he took the job, is because they're going to make him the main guy.
That was pretty good. I will say that I did notice, once again, on Fox during practice, commercials every 5 minutes or so. Just like NASCAR. So that's a bit of a downside.
How many people were really advertising during practice?
Enough.
What ads are they selling at that?
I don't know. Because I threw it on while I was working and got annoyed enough to pause it and wait for it to to end so I could just skip through the commercials.
You can't when you can't do that on certain things. I just hit the mute until the commercial's over. Turn it back on because I've seen the commercial 6 times now. Okay, I still don't want your product.
I want it even less now.
Yeah,
because you keep advertising it there.
So, IndyCar, I did read that they are trying to target the 25 to 35 age viewership, like trying to build up that range.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, who's the big spend? I thought big spenders were like 35 to 50.
I think they've got the older group is too much of their fan base right now, so they need to start working that downwards. I think F1 has that.
Yeah,
more of a younger fan base.
Drive to
IndyCar
Survive
does right now. Yeah, Drive to Survive. I think helped that a lot.
So we're gonna do a new thing this year since IndyCar has a pretty good mix of American drivers and other drivers from around the world. I'm gonna do a USA versus the world. Just keep track of who's winning in points. So I took the top 10 of U.S. drivers and the top 10 of other drivers, and after the first week, it was USA 181 points, world 275.
Sounds like it's rigged.
Yeah.
Can we put tariffs on the foreign drivers?
That's a good idea. 25% tariffs? Sounds about right. Okay.
Reciprocal, at least.
So if we apply the 25% tariff to the foreign drivers, we come up with USA 181 and world 206. So
okay.
We're still losing.
So 50?
The top, no matter how much, 50% tariff? Well, first and second were both foreign drivers, and then Newgarden came in third. And that was the bulk of the points.
There's a lot of foreign drivers.
Yeah. There's way too many. We need to... can we get ICE to do something? Too many foreign drivers? Who's that bald mean dude that's running ICE right now?
They were kicking out the Argentine drivers last year. Well, I think the main storyline this season now is, will Alex Palou have the championship wrapped up by Detroit halfway through the season?
Oh, God, I hope
not. Because he didn't slow down at all from last season.
McLaughlin was in the catbird seat.
Oh, no.
To start the race. You know what? He cruised through the first half of the race, and then he just got out pit stopped.
Strategy.
Yeah, it just didn't work. I mean, he's Penske. I thought those guys... Oh, they didn't have push to pass, so...
They didn't use it this time.
Yeah.
Could have been a Penske 1, 2, 3, 4 somehow, even.
Like last year?
Yeah. How'd you guys get a top 3?
Well, next up is the thermal, quote, race.
Test-ish.
Testing session. Did they get points this year?
It's a real points race this time.
That's a really awful track to try and race Indy cars on.
It's kind of narrow and I don't know.
I feel like it just goes back and forth inside. I feel like they're playing chutes and ladders.
It's like a test track looking.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, because they built it to play with your expensive cars on.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'd be totally cool with having a house there so I could go ride around on the track, take my bike out, whatever.
It would be fun if you have an extra $2 million-ish.
Yeah.
You get a good view of the race, too, if your house is there.
So you want to build a good 3-story house so you can watch the race.
NASCAR was in Texas this weekend for the Track Limits Grand Prix, and it was Christopher Bell going back-to-back with Lucky Lord Byron in second and Tyler Reddick in third.
I really thought Busch might get his first win this decade, but his car really faded the last 6.
He was really good. He passed Marcus Ambrose, SVG, just straight up early on a couple times there in the race, and it's like, man, he's going to drive away with it, but he didn't have the long run car for the end of the run there.
That's too bad. He's got to be getting frustrated. Always the bridesmaid.
And Christopher Bell was pretty polite about passing him this year too, because I think last year he was a little rough.
There's some bumping going on there at the end.
Well, we'll go back to the Busch Series first of all, because the next greatest thing since sliced bread, Connor Zilisch, was in the race and got his second career NASCAR win. He started P1, got an early penalty at the end of stage 1, and had to go to the back of the field, and then promptly made his way back through the entire field by lap 56, took the lead again, and won the race.
Wow. What's his name?
Connor Zilisch.
Zilisch? Sounds like an app that I would use to check for garage prices in my neighborhood. Connor Zilisch. That's like, what's your name? Zebediah Smith. Like the two, they don't seem to go together. What kind of name is Zilisch?
Zilisch. That was his second career road course start and his second win in the Busch Series.
Is he going to get regular, like an oval ride, or
He's been running the full season. He was at Daytona and Atlanta, and
I didn't even realize he was there. In Busch Series?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, let's do highlights.
Well, the Cup Series, they started off with they put barriers up in the S's before the weekend started, so the officials wouldn't have to make a bunch of out of bounds calls like they have to every year. But then the drivers saw it on the track walk and complained about hitting barriers, so the NASCAR was like, F it, we'll take them out.
NASCAR listened to the drivers?
Yeah, I thought that was, I'm like, just leave them in. I'm tired of NASCAR having to make calls on, well, so-and-so, and then you people watching on TV are like, well, they didn't call it when this guy did it, and they called it when this guy did it. Just
put some gravel in there or something, and let them drive whatever line they want to drive.
Put some nails in, and
oh yeah.
Annoying.
Something. What do they have in Mario Kart? Like little mushroom bombs or something?
Some banana peels.
Yeah. Well, Bubba took stage 1, but what stood out for you in the first stage?
Well, I will say the first turn of lap 1.
Calamity Corner.
Calamity Corner. Chase Elliott got Ross Chastain immediately at the beginning of the race.
Good job.
Kind of fitting because he had the bullhorns on his paint
scheme
scheme there.
He
Texas scheme.
He used the chrome horn.
That was kind of funny. If you don't like Chase Elliott.
I liked lap 4 when Busch took the grass line.
No, just
I'm just going through the grass. And he actually made a pass.
pass in the grass.
Remember that used to work on the Formula 1 game?
Yeah. That's got to be pretty loose for the car.
Yeah.
That does not work in F1 now.
And it was good, like spring. It wasn't nice spring grass. It was like we haven't had any rain and it's all yellow grass that just comes apart. Yeah.
A lot of grass on the field there. I think that was on the early in the race. Connor Zilisch didn't watch out and he cut a tire, so
that took him down.
Back to the end of the field for him again there. SVG started out at top 5-ish, but he made his way to the lead fairly quickly and pretty much held on to it for most of the first stage. And then
Bubba stayed out, and
Bubba did stay out to take stage 1 because SVG pitted a strategy. So pretty good showing for Bubba on the road course. He is not normally that great on the road courses, but he's been improving lately, so good for him.
Stage 2.
Ryan Preece stayed out on the strategy and took the win, but once again SVG controlled most of it. I remember, I think it was lap 44, was it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, lap 44.
Yes.
Larson loses a wheel.
Oh, that's right. Because he cut to his radio there.
Yeah. I'm like, Larson loses a wheel. That sounds like a children's book for the handicapped.
I would read it. And then they cut to his in-car. He's like, yeah, the car feels really loose. So the wheel's gone. I think the wheel's off.
Oops.
I really like the Max has all the in-car cameras and audio. So, if something happens, someone can go grab the audio and you can get it immediately. So the reporters and stuff will go find it. So it's all available online somewhere. So that we're not missing all of the wrecks and the radio stuff like they did last year. That's kind of nice.
Better.
It is better. It's nice to see Kyle Busch decide he can drive a car again and get past Tyler Reddick and SVG for the lead towards the end of the stage. That was pretty impressive. Didn't really expect it. But didn't quite last the entire race. Daniel Suarez continued his run to lose his seat at the end of the year by spinning out directly in front of his young teammate Connor Zilisch and taking him out of the race too.
Both of them.
So that was
Zilisch swerved way outside and then still hit his teammate.
tough day for Trackhouse there.
Yeah. Wait, are they one of the non-signers of the new contract? Is it Trackhouse?
That was
No, they're okay.
2311 and what's the
Furniture
Front Row.
Front Row.
Front Row is the one.
Trackhouse fell in line like a good boy.
Like a NASCAR got him in line.
I like the 21 to go. Dylan appropriates an F1 car and beaches himself in the kitty litter.
That's like the only spot where they actually have sand on the course anymore, too. All the rest of it's paved over.
He's got in a sand pit. The one sand pit left on the course, and
he was
found
so
it.
close to the asphalt, too. He was, like, right off of it. And he's like, come on. Yeah, and it ended up, that's what kind of screwed over Kyle Busch that last caution with, because they had to dig him out of the sand there.
He might have held on.
I think 12 to go. Poor little Ty Gibbs got spun by, was it Chase Briscoe?
Briscoe
in the coming out of the turn one right there.
Yeah.
Calamity corner again.
Yeah, Gibbs is not doing so good on the road courses either.
I think this season has not started well for him at all. He's back in the 30s in points.
I wanted to call out the camera crew for their good work at the very last, lap 3 to go, and they're following the battle, and then we just see the back of the bleachers.
Great battle here. They cut, and I hear the announcer just go like,
oh, yeah.
Man, Fox is not great with the camera work. Like, I've heard of quite a few times the announcers will try to be talking about something like, yeah, this guy trying to get, like, hey, can we show something? And they just completely ignore him and go to showing whatever they feel like showing that's not what they're talking about. I don't know. It's just not working.
They need one of those buzzers for bad dogs and put it on the camera director, and if he's not showing what they want, they just hit the buzzer.
I don't know. Whoever is directing IndyCar did a pretty good job, camera work-wise, and
yeah,
already better than the guy who does NASCAR. I miss early Fox from way back in the day. That was a much better job than they've done recently.
They were lean and hungry back then.
Man, I thought Kyle Busch might actually break the curse, but his car fell off pretty strong there at the end.
He went from first to fourth in about 1.5 laps.
You know who did come back was Chase Elliott. I think pulled in a Scott Dixon all the way. I think he finished fourth.
Oh, yeah.
He was hoping for a caution at the end, too. I think he would have got pretty interesting with a couple laps to go, but Christopher Bell, pretty dominant there.
What was up with Kozlowski on a stretcher?
I heard he had a cool shirt on that stopped working.
It's February.
That's what's
or March, early March.
Did he accidentally run it through like the engine water? So just pumping hot water through his cool? I don't know, something.
Huh.
It must have got hot.
It sounded like a song from the Smiths. Kozlowski on a Sketcher. Didn't they have Girlfriend in a Coma? Or was that just Morrissey by himself? Was that Morrissey or was that the Smiths?
I don't know. They sound the same.
Yeah, Girlfriend in a Coma. I don't how you could make that sound happy, but
Does Morrissey have any happy songs?
I don't think Morrissey has any happy songs.
Anyway,
Paint. So I went with Kozlowski's Castrol car, not because it was great, because there were no great paint jobs, but it was a recognizable brand, and we need more of those.
It is. I do like the Castro colors.
Yeah.
I went with the Ross Chastain Texas scheme because he had the bullhorns on the front of the car, like
Boss Hog.
Boss Hog, and he wasn't afraid to use them.
I've got these horns. Did Shaq show up with this weird limo with the horns on the front? That would have been appropriate.
Oh, that's right. He does have that thing.
He does it for Formula One. It's like 4 Conestoga wagons melded together with big longhorns on the front.
Was that when he was doing his DJ stuff or something? He showed up at the race. Bad paint schemes?
Reddick in the number 45. On the front of the hood it says hard 6%. And I really didn't know what that meant. I thought maybe it was like, anti-erection medicine or something. Hard 6%. What? I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Monster. They have trouble sometimes. Did you see, I think 35 Riley Herbst's car? Like
oh yeah.
Was it some Chumba Casino or something? It looked like someone left a box of crayons out in the sun and they melted all over the car or something.
Yeah, that was my first choice actually, but you had already taken it. So
that one was rough.
Reddick.
Straight out of the 90s type of design looking thing there.
It was awful. There wasn't a lot of good any kind of design in the 90s, from clothes to architecture. It was all kind of meh. Nothing was great. I did notice, the Red Bull car, they had an actual, like, the standard Red Bull design.
It's a solid design.
Yeah.
I like that car.
Which, it's okay. But if they melded it with some kind of a vodka brand, like a Smirnoff Red Bull car, I would be all in for that.
That's a good one. They could probably come up with something pretty cool looking for that.
Yeah. Not like just a halfway down, like Jordan Peterson in a suit, but an actual, like a good mix of whatever. I don't know. What's a good American vodka? Is there a good American vodka?
Is there a good vodka?
Yeah. Potatoes. I mean, really?
I feel like they all taste the same.
I'm going to go for a hard liquor. I think I have to go with rum because it comes from sugar. And nothing bad can happen with sugar.
That's fair. NASCAR this weekend is heading to Phoenix, getting into the meat of the schedule, just some normal ovals, after super speedways and road courses to open the season. So look for Penske and Christopher Bell to have a strong showing.
It was Reddick and Gibbs last year that did so well.
They did.
Yeah, they had a good. That whole team was doing well. Are you gonna go? It's in our backyard.
Not this time.
My youngest daughter wants to go, so I convinced her. Let's go to the Saturday race.
Did you get tickets?
Yeah, that's like $30.
I did. It is a good deal Saturday.
Yeah, and I got the the experience for an extra $35.
So where you go down in the...
Yeah.
That's cool to watch. Saturday's the day to do it, because more stuff going on down there.
Do you get, is that in the pits? Am I in the pits with that, or...?
Yeah, you get to walk down under the tunnel, and it's down in that area. You can check out the garages and such.
Okay. Because we haven't been in the pits since the last IndyCar race when we had the RV in there, and then they did a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. It's all different there. What they did was increase the price of all the snacks tenfold down there, and
they did show on the marketing page about enjoy all our snacks down. Oh, so they're just more expensive snacks. Wait, you can take a cooler in, can't you?
Yeah, I would always bring some food and snacks in.
Like a soft cooler. You
Yeah.
can take like a softie, and
Not alcoholic drinks, no glass, and snacks.
you can take soda and stuff like that.
Yeah, as long as it's closed. Or it looks closed and everything in it is clear that you mixed in. I didn't say that.
No backpacks.
I've seen people within. I don't know. It's always questionable. I would always bring a clear bag with my little radio headset when I went in.
Yeah, because you don't want to have to go back to your car at the racetrack if they turn you away.
That 6-mile hike.
Yeah, maybe I'll get some kind of a soft pack that you can easily carry. Yeah, I'm doing headphones this time though, and earplugs. Because last time I was right in the center, where it's designed like a coliseum, and it destroys your ears.
At least just something to cover.
Yeah,
keeps the headache away all day.
I figure like earbuds. What do they call them? AirPods? No.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, AirPods, and then like the ear covers from the rifle range. That should do it.
If you got AirPods, you could pull up the NASCAR app.
Oh yeah,
they have the radio on there, and you can listen to it. If you do that, I think it's free just to listen to the audio.
Last year we gave up trying to talk to each other and just started texting each other, sitting right together, and it's just a lot easier. NASCAR's loud, especially when you're on the outside where the exhaust actually is. It was a lot better when we were down in the pits, and you don't get as much noise pollution. Formula One was in Bahrain for 3 days of desert testing this week. McLaren came out looking like the team to beat, but Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes all close behind. But as the stockbrokers say, past performance is not a guarantee of future gains.
Not really anything exciting in testing, like no great new innovations, really.
Yeah, the last year of a formula is, sort of like staying at the bar till it closes. Like, there's just nothing better coming out.
Sam's tech shorts were a little sparse. Not a whole lot of brand new stuff to go over.
That's usually the best part of testing, is when they turn Sam loose and they need to get him.
Usually like 40 to 50 minutes worth of stuff. And this one was like 10 or 15 and sort of scraping the bottom for content there.
Yeah, because like if you're Sauber, you're just kind of giving up and we're just going to go drive a car around all year.
We'll fulfill the obligations and show up every week.
There's always one of the top 3 teams that like throws everything they have at it to try and win. But then they fall behind in the new formula.
Never mind. Screw it.
I'm still not convinced this new formula is going to be all they say. Half and half electric, gas. I don't know. Not even gas. I'm sorry. Sustainable fuel.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's a sustainably sourced fuel.
I hope they don't ruin it.
Yeah, I don't have my hopes up. Well, day one didn't have excitement that it did see a power outage in the paddock and media buildings for a little while.
More shocking fallout from US-aid cuts.
Yes.
Think of the children.
If Trump hadn't cut it off, they probably would have had power for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Day 2 saw a stoppage for rain.
Rain? Didn't they switch from Spain to get away from the rain?
They did. And the big question is, did the rain in Bahrain fall mainly on the plane? Yeah, that's almost as bad as a dad joke.
I think we're done here.
Okay. Surprisingly, a decent run by Williams.
They did have some good speed, or everyone else just didn't care.
Yeah, that's possible too. I don't know. Last year they were way too heavy, and it was Val's first year leaving Mercedes and going to Williams, and then he realizes, oh my God, what have I done? Once he gets inside and sees how Williams works.
I do like Val's, and I think he'll improve Williams quite a bit.
Can he become the Williams of old? I don't know.
That'll be tough.
Yeah.
But I think he'll improve them from last, especially with Carlos Sainz. He's going to help him out a lot.
Williams, I mean, if you go back to the 80s, Williams was like edge of technology level team.
Yeah, that was... they were had top of the line tech
Yeah.
until the 1 year when they just decided to cut it all off. And what was that? That was when they right before Senna died. That was early 90s, late 80s.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
When they had the MTV car.
Yeah. Oh, it was Ratzenberger.
Yeah.
And then,
But since then they've just been kind of a typical customer team. They don't really invent anything.
Couple upswings with Ralph Schumacher and Montoya and
they were
here and there, but never really contending for a championship other than close.
Yeah, they're kind of like Lotus, just unless they get lucky. You know, like the rear diffuser on the Virgin team, unless you just get like some kind of dumb genius luck like that. That's just not. It's hard to keep up with those rich teams anymore.
Man, Ross Braun. I was gonna buy this team for a year and win an F1 championship as a constructor.
And then
nope, I'm out.
Fade into the distance.
I'll take my one constructors championship. Did you see? It was like at the end of a session. One of the McLaren team tried to stand around the pits to block their car. They had sent a car out covered in the Floviz, the pink.
Yeah.
So they got the whole team to stand around and block the car when it came into the pits so that photographers couldn't take pictures of it as they pushed it into their stall. There's like a camera guy like trying to run around and they were like in front of him blocking. And I was like, what are we doing here? Are you just having fun or something? This is ridiculous. You can just look at the camera that was filming the car
the entire
high
time.
definition and the entire time around the track.
Yeah.
You guys just bored at the end of the race.
Formula One still does that. They're like real secretive. Like they've got state secrets invested in this car.
And now, like, if there's new tech, they have to declare it now. And then they have to park the car in front of there and have, like, the tech or one of the engineers explains what they've done to the car, which is really cool and interesting now that they have to do it. I think it's interesting, but, like, what are you trying to hide? Stop.
It's not working.
Everyone in the paddock already knows what you're doing before your car even gets into the pits.
All right, so before the season start, predictions for driver and team. Team championship, I want to say Ferrari, but I have this weird feeling that Mercedes is going to do something. So I'm going to go Mercedes for the team, but for the driver, George Russell. I hate to see Mercedes win again after so many dominant years, but something tells me they've done something weird and
they'll pull it off in the last one.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with McLaren again.
Constructors?
Yeah. And then that's kind of tough.
For driver?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see Leclerc get it, but Ferrari's been pretty good at screwing up, but when it matters.
Like either their strategy is off or a driver makes a mistake too often, something like that. But Lewis didn't often make mistakes. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be that great in the Ferrari. I think he doesn't drive as well as Leclerc all year, just because Leclerc's been driving that car. He knows it.
Russell or Leclerc are probably going to be in Norris. I would say Norris over Leclerc.
Norris and McLaren?
Yeah.
I mean, typically the two go together. Last year was an outlier. Just because Red Bull... Well, you know what? Red Bull probably would have won if it wasn't for Sergio.
Yeah. Finishing out of the points almost every race.
Yeah, they probably would have won them both again for another year in a row.
Red Bull's going to have a tough time.
Yeah, they fell off the cliff. Well, they clawed it back a little bit at the end of the year, but they just weren't... I think they had all the great dominant stuff they had invented. Everybody else had copied nicely, so...
I think Max will be within the top 5, but he tends to race too aggressively when he's not dominant and ends up making some poor choices more often than not.
I like to see him whine and cry when he doesn't have the best car. That's interesting.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's so anti-Dutch that it's fun to see.
Mario Andretti confirmed that Colton Herta is at the top of the Cadillac F1 list for the seat.
No surprise.
Our sources said that Cadillac wants to pair a U.S. driver with an F1 veteran, so we went ahead and put together a top 5 list of F1 candidates.
Who would be?
Number 5, Romain Grosjean. Bring him back into Formula One.
Grosjean.
Less fires, though, I think.
He needs revenge for what an F1 car tried to do to him.
Did he ever get? No, he was done. He never got a race again after that.
He went to IndyCar, and they didn't even want to put him in the car because they were so freaked out for what Gene Haas was gonna put him in an IndyCar, and he's like, no, he didn't want to ever see Grosjean in a car again. He was so freaked out that he almost got killed.
Man.
Number 4, Daniel Ricciardo. All right, he doesn't quite have it like he did, but I would like to see him do one more shoey with Captain Picard. That was pretty good.
I miss Daniel Ricciardo. He needs to do something.
Netflix is going to miss Daniel Ricciardo.
That's true. Number 3, Kevin Magnussen, the ultimate wingman.
Was there a better wingman than Kevin Magnussen?
Blocking for... He got Haas, so many extra points by blocking.
He would violate international treaties to get you an extra point for the team. Perfect veteran to pair alongside a rookie. Number 2, Scott Dixon. Never got a shot at Formula One. Would probably be a great veteran to be next to, and would probably just sneak up and outscore the rookie.
Sneaky. Probably keep the car very clean.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about smashing up your new Cadillac that you don't have an extra one.
Yeah. Number 1 is obviously going to be Kimi Räikkönen.
Definitely Kimi.
I don't know how old he is now, but he could probably still win a race.
Kimi, yeah, just to have, Kimi and his brilliant conversation skills. Who's a better interview than Kimi?
I miss Kimi.
And because we had the top 5 vets who we want to see paired with Colton, we also have the top 5 vets who have no business being paired with Colton Herta. Number 5, Sonny Hayes, as played by Brad Pitt, because he's not a real driver, and he's also Social Security eligible at this point.
That's the 60s?
Yeah.
Just rolling around the Formula One car, huh?
Yeah, that's a little hard to take. And when does the movie come out?
Summertime, sometime.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard seeing a 60-year-old competing with 20-year-olds, but we'll see.
Fernando gets stuff for being old. What is he?
40 something? Yeah, he's like 40-something, and here's Brad Pitt, 65.
Number 4, Pastor Maldonado. Which, bad gift, Maldonado.
That's what his name translates as.
I believe it's a bad gift.
Bad gift. And he was a pay-to-play, right? Sponsored by some South American oil company or something. Crash Tour?
Crash Tour Maldonado.
Yeah. Number 3, Mick Schumacher. Because, you know what? We all loved his dad, but sometimes the apple falls too far from the tree. And that was Mick. He was talking about, he really wants another shot. He was actually talking about the Cadillac seat, and we're like, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, Mick.
A World Endurance will be a good time.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Do some of that.
Sports cars are probably going to be perfect for you.
Perfectly fine to drive.
Yeah, he's kind of like Marco Andretti, right? Yeah, you can drive a car, but you just don't have any of the magic that your grandfather had. Sorry.
Not quite. Number 2, Chris Hemsworth as James Hunt would be pretty fun to have.
I would actually like to see James Hunt paired. Like 70s James Hunt?
Yeah.
That would be great. He's almost as interesting as Kimi.
He was a character.
Yeah. And the number 1 veteran who should not be paired with anyone, Nikita Mazepin. Because we don't want Cadillac to be called a pro-Putin company. And that's what would happen if you do anything Russian.
We already got him kicked out once.
Yeah. In other news, F1 President I want to say Suleiman all the time, but that was some famous conqueror from like the Crusades.
Yes.
Or no, he was Ottoman. I take it back. He was like a very progressive Ottoman emperor, Suleiman. Anyway, Suleim. I'm just going to say Suleiman. F1 President Suleiman wants a return to V10 motors using sustainable fuels instead of electric power.
Okay.
Which have a lot of people excited.
Okay. I'm listening.
Suleiman also recommends that female drivers wear full fire suits with the baklava to cover their face at all times they're in public.
Oh. Or hijabs?
Yeah, or hijabs. That would also work for the female drivers.
I'm not going to lie, you had me in the first half there. I was on board in the V10s. Screaming V10s. I miss those sounds.
All right, I'm going to predict that this 50-50 electric whatever fuel motor is going to be such a debacle that they will go back to V10s in the next Formula.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it's so bad that they just go like, yeah, this is stupid. These are race cars. Let's do something good.
I mean, I get pushing the technology. I mean, the fuel thing could be interesting. I mean, that could force some new technology out, which is kind of what racing is about, you know, pushing for new technology. But I don't know about the 50-50 electric. The batteries are so heavy.
Yeah. The car's already starting to sound not good at all.
Yeah.
It's going to get even worse.
I'm okay with the electric as like a booster. It's kind of a cool booster to have, but
it's a very efficient way to keep the power up.
Yeah. Anyway,
I like it's good. I like a good amount of electric power, rechargeable. I don't know about 50-50.
I mean, either be electric or be combustion. The hybrid thing is. Although I did have a hybrid rental car a little while back, and I was shocked at the fuel mileage I got was really good. So that's kind of cool. But on the other hand, it's a whole other component to break down on your car as it hits 5 or 6 years old. So
it sounds very expensive to fix.
Yeah, I would get the all electric, like a Tesla for, like if you're wealthy enough to have 3 cars, then Tesla's a good idea. Like if you live in town and it's like your daily run around town car, then that works pretty good. But you're not taking it, across country, or else you're stopping to charge up for half an hour.
Yeah. I saw that Netflix Drive to Survive Season 8 is going to be starting this week. I'm hoping it's exciting.
Yeah, with Ricardo gone, I wonder.
Ricardo, there's no Gunther Steiner.
Oh yeah, all their colorful characters are gone.
Who's going to step up? Somebody needs to.
Well, Ricardo made it halfway through the season, so they'll have him for that long.
Okay, that's right.
And then they'll probably just kind of drag him through to the end, just to hoping he says something interesting to keep people watching. They need, I don't know what else they need. The drama is what seems to bring in some viewers, so maybe if one driver started secretly dating another driver's wife, I'm sure they would love to see something like that.
That sounds great. Is Will Buxton still doing the voice for this season, or?
Well, he will for this one coming out, but for next year he'll be gone. Who are they going to use? Not Sam.
No, Sam's not allowed to leave the headquarters anymore.
Yeah, that's too bad. He was fun when he's out on track. Are you going to binge watch the whole thing, or try and stretch it out?
I'll watch here and there over the course of a few weeks, probably. It's a nice recap of last season, sort of.
I mean, it would be good to watch it all at the beginning before the season starts to kind of
I try
remember.
I usually don't get to it all, but
I'll let it run while I'm working, usually.
Yeah, that's usually what I do.
Next up, I almost said Austrian Grand Prix, but there is no Austrian Grand Prix anymore, is there?
I don't remember. The Red Bull Ring?
Is that one considered Austrian?
I think it is.
Okay. Oh yeah, Red Bull's an Austrian company. But the Australian Grand Prix will be March 16th, so in about 2 weeks we get Formula One.
Coming up quick.
We'll finally have we won't have a full 3 races. We have to wait till late March for that, don't we?
IndyCar's off for a few weeks now.
Okay.
Some other racing news. The World Endurance Championship opener was over the weekend in Qatar? Qatar? Qatar.
I like Qatar.
Qatar, yeah. I sat down and watched the whole 10 hours, just straight through, obviously.
Did you raw dog it?
No, I did not.
Oh.
I just had it on while I was working.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Well, early race was good. Then Ferrari started dominating. At one point, Aston Martin forgot to close their door.
Oops.
So that was just... it flew off on the middle of the track.
Oh.
And then under yellow, the 2 Cadillacs hit each other and took themselves out of the contention for the win.
Oh,
and,
like Trackhouse.
Yeah. And Ferrari ran away with a 1-2-3 finish, and it was pretty boring.
Oh. Did they have push to pass, or they took the ballast out of their cars?
Probably. I don't know. It doesn't bode well for the season.
In completely unrelated news, baseball and ESPN are breaking up.
Oh.
ESPN, which had cut the amount of money they're paying last year. I think last year they paid Major League Baseball a little over $500 million for the television rights. This year they offered about half, which doesn't bode well for baseball.
ESPN only showed like 4 teams.
Yeah.
When ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, you're getting Dodgers, Red Sox, Yankees, Cardinals, Braves. Is that about it? That's about it. What you get anytime they show it.
Yeah. So baseball said they're gonna look for other options. They did not take the $250 million offer from ESPN.
Oh.
Which another sport slowly going down the drain. Baseball's just not the American sport anymore. I
watch my team. It's $100 for the year, and I split that with my parents. And I don't watch any other teams because I don't care.
I don't
really watch the national games.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch the home team, but we would record it and then fast forward when the other team was at bat and just watch our team bat.
The MLB app's nice. You can start the game late. You can fast forward through parts of it. You can even jump. On the little thing at the bottom, it tells you where the innings are at, so you can jump.
We used to go to some of the games once in a while. Like on weeknight games, you could get cheap tickets on StubHub or whatever.
Yeah, try to go once or twice a year.
We haven't been in a few years. I don't know. It's just not as fun anymore. Because going to a baseball game's like, let's just chill out for 4 hours and sit down.
And they keep charging more for things, so it's like, let's spend $90 to chill out for 4 hours and...
Yeah, I have almost teenagers now, so...
They can't be doing things that are...
Yeah, I can't just throw them with Grandma while we go hang out at the baseball park anymore.
Could do some spring training, though. That's still relatively cheap.
Oh, yeah. It's outside, though. You never know what you're going to get in central Arizona in the springtime. It could be really beautiful or brutally cold or burning hot.
Or both.
Yeah.
Within 10 minutes of each other.
I'm praying for a long spring this summer.
I hope so.
But we had almost no rain, so I don't know.
Oh, hopefully. Bad news for baseball.
We're going to take a minute to talk about shameless advertising. A lot of shows will shamelessly advertise any product that you pay them to do. And I just want to point out that we, too, will also shamelessly promote your product in exchange for hard currency. So,
That's correct.
If you want to leverage the amazing reach of our audience, then just give our marketing vice president a call, and we'll set you up and shamelessly advertise your product.
No matter how embarrassing it is.
Yeah, I'll pretend like I use it all you want. That's it for this week. Next week, we'll have just NASCAR, huh?
We've got some NASCAR, and we've got more NASCAR, and that's it.
Yeah, and then after that, we start rolling into some triple. No, we're still just NASCAR and Formula One.
Yes.
Have a good week. Don't die.